live from the capital of Eli Lilly Pharmaceuticals, Indianapolis, Indiana. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Training Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, my friendly family? Tim Walbridge, Sharon Baldwin, Rick, Mike, Jill, Mr. Javier, Brandon. You had a great month, buddy. Congrats for all those options expiring for you today. Today was your payday, and I'm happy about it. Jill, how are you? Al, my friend, what's going on? Mr. Javier says, very well. Wonderful. I love it. I love it. Well done. Sharon says, hello. Hello, Miss Sharon. How are you? We're doing great. Hope you and Donnie are doing fantastic. Well, it's a Friday. The market is closed until Monday, and I'll be back here in Indianapolis on Monday. So really, we're leaving for Chicago tonight, driving up there, and then hang out in Chicago tonight. Of course, Saturday we have a meetup. Come back sometime Sunday. I'll be back here Monday, and then back in Tennessee Tuesday. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice little traveling few days, getting some miles on the car. Let's talk broader markets. And today, guess what today did? Made another all-time high. Another one. And another one. Brandon says, love that candle. It is beautiful. Man, oh man. So yesterday was a really fun day because we've been talking about this one for a while. And Gustavo, congrats, my man. So he said he's been playing the SPY. A few other traders. I mean, I think Iberto just laid this one up like LeBron James. Here's the hourly charts. And, just looking at the hourly, we just gapped down yesterday into the 50. You got a nice high wave candle. Second candle was an inside candle. Third candle was an inside day candle. And really at that time yesterday, we were looking at going long right there with actually some call options, 255.50 calls expiring next week. We're chatting about that yesterday in the afternoon. So anyway, SPY made some good moves, a nice gap, a good trend. She is cranking it out, ladies and gentlemen. Cranking. Just moving. Here's the Dow Jones ETF, and the Dow, look at this. I mean, running for the hills. No pullback in sight. When's it going to happen? Who knows? It's like rain, go away, come back another day. But for the Bears traders, when are the Bears traders going to pick up the pace? They have not been around. So long-term accounts, long-term retirements, IRAs, 401ks, whatever you're in, stocks, SPY, they should be doing pretty well. The big picture stuff should definitely be up. But again, volume's picking up. Volume was pretty big today because today was option expiration Friday. Here's the Qs. The Qs also gapped up. And then the IWM. So IWM also gapped up. White candle gapping up, a little bit of selling on the IWM. So overall, a lot of traders out there with their credit spreads. Today was option expiration day for more traders than I can count. We will look at a few of those options that expired today, but if you had some options expiring, you know who you are. Congrats-mundo. You did well. It's kind of the broad markets. Any questions in general before we just kind of dive in? Because there's not a massive amount to talk about. It's strong. Jill said, we have the V8 supercars racing here today. Oh, cool. Are you a race fan at all, Jill? I've never actually been to a car race, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't specifically have, I was going to say, I've been to a car race. I've never been to like a professional one. I went to one in Milledgeville, Georgia. That doesn't count. It was a dirt track. So any dirt track racing doesn't count. If it's in Milledgeville, Georgia, whatever you did, it doesn't count. That's cool. V8, 8 cylinders, horsepower. Jill said, not really, but I live in a household full of men. I got you. I hear you. Sharon says, Milledgeville is famous for other things too, right? It is, kind of, sort of, yeah. It is. It's got some history. That's where my parents were born, actually. Good old Milledgeville. Milledgeville, Georgia. All right, let's go check out the FAS, which is the financial ETF. And as you all know, today is Finance Friday. Good Googa Mooga. If you bought some dips on FAS off of the 10, you got rewarded today. Now, of course, this is just one of those situations, folks, where you never know, right? If it's your strategy to buy dips off of a moving average in a strong trend, I mean, the trend is your friend. Let the trend continue to be your friend, right? Call it up on the phone every now and then, check in, see how you're doing, maybe doing some voice-to-voice texts, invite it to play fantasy football with you, go to the movies every now and then, share a chocolate milkshake, one straw. It's okay, you're friends. The trend should be your friend. In this situation, FAS was kind to a lot of people. It pulled back to the 10. It bounced off. That's where you were buying it. You obviously would have your stop probably and more than likely below the low of this really good bullish candle right here. Stop somewhere down here around the 20, more than likely. And, yeah, it worked. So FAS, cranking it out. Bill, do you have any trade on this one? I had a trader or two, had a bull put spread on this one. Some traders have longer-term calls on the FAS. It's it's a pretty fun, volatile stock. This is one of the first ETFs I ever traded was FAS. I don't know how I even found out about it, but this was way back in the day. Let me find out. Let me see if I can go back and find the first time I traded FAS, just for giggles. It was not. It used to be more expensive. They've had some splits since I started trading FAS. It was a reverse split. If I do say so, no, not a reverse split, an actual. Let me see. What split was this? 1 to 5. Yep. 1 to 5. Reverse split, I believe, in 2009. And so it was much more expensive back in here. That's why I was trading in 2009, 2010. It was really expensive back then. And then recently, 2011, they had the another one, an actual, back to where it was normally. So anyway, FAS, just a fun ETF to trade. Pretty volatile. Good options, good open interest, good for day trading, good for swing trading. I don't believe it pays a yield. Anyway, so today's commentary is going to be kind of overarchingly, hey, folks, the market's bullish. We're extremely bullish. Find some dips and buy them. If you're going to go bullish aggressively, do it very short term. So when I say aggressively, like if you're doing anything under the daily chart, so you're doing hourly, 15-minute, things like that, just get in, get out, make a little bit of money, move on. We probably have a pretty gnarly dip coming Monday, Tuesday. It's a guess, but this is a really high gap in the market. It's like in FAS, this is big. Just a solid gap. So we probably pull back. But that pullback, go ahead and plan now. Yes, it might feel uncomfortable, but I think it's going to be a viable event. And I mean, I will look to buy it on pretty much whatever we look to play out there. So that's my thoughts on FAS. Jill, of course, absolutely. So let's start riding through this list. Some of them are going to be pretty quick, like CLLS. Bob had a put sale expiring today, and Bob, you got real close, man. You were probably sweating through this one for about 0 hours. So Bob is the only trader in CLLS, but he did have a put sale expiring worthless. He probably robbed the market maker because that one probably had a large bid-ask spread. But CLLS, done. Next on the list, AVGO. And my buddy Adrian Lee has himself a 240, 230 bull put spread for November, which is a little bit right below the low of yesterday's candle. So we gapped up a little bit. Here's the long-term moving averages on AVGO. And good-looking candle, 200-something moving average is about 230. Here's the weekly charts. And we're kind of hanging out. So he's bullish to neutral on AVGO since it is a bull put spread. Daily time frame. Yeah, I think he's the only one in AVGO. I know Niels has done a put sale on that one before. I believe it was AVGO. So Broadcom right now, Adrian, still looks pretty good. Seagate Technology, ticker symbol STX. Oh, man. I don't think Niels is here. I think he's working today. But he'll watch the recording. He'll get back to me at some point. I'm very excited to see if he got called away with his shares. Theoretically, he should not have because we did close below 35. And by theoretically, I mean I really don't think he did or is going to get called away. So unless it pops pre-market or something, sometimes that can happen. It's a little on the rare side. We are at 34.95 right now post-market. So I think he's going to get out of that one with his covered call premium. Really, when you do covered calls, folks, that is best case scenario. Best case scenario for me to do a covered call is the stock goes right up to your strike price. Expires worthless. You keep your shares, you keep the covered call premium, and you keep the equity that may, the positive equity. Remember, I like Seagate down here. Earnings are around the corner, so it did not have earnings. This is a legitimate statement from TradingView. I think there's sometime next week on Seagate. So the one big takeaway, I had a few traders who like this stock because it is a dividend-paying stock. It is a little on the cheaper side. Here's a monthly chart. Now, granted, the month is not over, but you got that one hundo, simple moving average, doing its thing. So we're going to find out on Monday. Me and Brad have the same mindset right now. He typed in earnings are Monday. Yep. So we're going to find out Monday what happens with this one. If it gaps down strong, here's the 100 simple on a weekly. If it gaps down to 33, a little bit bearish. If it gaps down to 30, yeah, it'll be bearish at that point. It'll probably trade at 28, but then still it can be pretty viable. Do you have a put sale, Brad, or anything on Seagate? But of course, this one could gap up. So if you want to scribble this one in, this one is one that a few real life traders are watching longer term, mostly because it pays dividends. It's not super expensive, and it is in a buy low, sell high location. So something to keep in mind. Also, you got a little cute new white soldier, one white soldier candle right here, kind of propping the stock up. Brad's going to wait until earnings. Got it. All right, Teddy Roosevelt. I like it. So that's Seagate Technology. Niels, I think your covered call expired worthless, man. Congrats. Linden Club, ticker symbol LC. You all know my saga on Linden Club. And it's not doing anything. So it coincided with the 100 simple. We all knew that was going to happen, or at least I did. We talked about it. Here's the support resistance right there. It might be a few more months. Could even be another year. I'm not sure. But if Linden Club does eventually end up closing above that resistance, I'm going to feel real good. It's going to be a strong breakout, and I think this one will slowly keep climbing just a little bit higher. Okay, that is Linden Club. Next on the list, we have Take-Two Interactive. So Take-Two, I have been keeping my eyes on this for a short-term bullish move, and we got a cute little candle today. Here's the hourly chart, and I'm going to laugh if I take this trade and lose because I'm always bearish on this thing. And it's like the first time if I go bullish and get stopped out, it's just going to be ironic with a capital O. So here's the hourly time frame, and you see a nice little resistance right here. We're making higher lows. I very rarely look at the long-term moving averages, but there they are, kind of acting as a support. So here's the daily, and you can see that it's going sideways for a while, your exponential moving averages. I am going to wait on this one because as I hear myself talk about it and as I really see the screen, I mean, it is – I should have bought it yesterday. If I was going to trade this bullish, should have bought it yesterday. One of the sentiments that you're going to have to make sure you all keep me to and practice with yourself as well. If you like a stock and you pull it up and it's bullish, you're like, yeah, I like it bullish. If you want to get in bullish based on your analysis, try to find the lowest price you can get in on it bullish for. I mean, just as an example, this is something I always struggle with. It's just a challenge of mine, just being vulnerable for a second. But if your stock's doing this, you're like, yeah, I like it bullish, and then it comes down here. Well, I mean, if you liked it bullish there, you should probably look to get in bullish there with a signal or something rather than letting it trade back up, breaking out right up here, and then getting in. Does that make sense? So if you like a stock bullish, I was looking at it bullish there when a breakout. I should have just bought off the 20. And then I would be able to move my stop as and if it breaks out higher. So just something to keep in mind. There are certain instances where some candles and stuff like that say no, wait, or trends say no, wait. But if you pull up a stock, the most important thing is the trend. So if you look at the trend and you go, yeah, this is unequivocally bullish, okay, cool. Then if you're looking at buying it bullish, you might as well buy it at the cheapest price possible. So that's Take Two Interactive. I should have gotten in yesterday. I didn't. I'm a giant chicken. First Solar, FSLR. Woo! So Bill has a covered call for next Friday. I had a bull put spread expire worthless today. Happy about that one. That's actually two in a row. So I had a bull put spread expire. It was actually an Iron Condor last month on First Solar, and then I got this bull put spread. Bill's got the covered call. That one looks good, Bill. And pull up First Solar and just make a mark on this note on this chart. It's going to be time though where spread goes against me soon, because I think I have had a little bit of a winning streak with spreads. So it's due. Either I have to make play some defense on it, or exit out of one, or unravel one. It's coming up. All right, so that's First Solar. Earnings on this one are not too far in the distant future. And Bill, I do think your covered call will expire worthless, but at this point, by Monday for sure, you'd probably just be able to buy that one back for pennies on the dollar. The other one, Pets, P-E-T-S, Pets also expired worthless today. Pet Med Express. And I'm gonna plan on doing another one on Monday. So as we chat on Monday, I'm probably going to be looking at another one, even over earnings, because there was premium for $22.50. And it seems weird because this is getting 1% each time, which is, it's not too good to be true. I mean, trust me, it's nothing to brag about, but it helps. It does help. So hop down here, PETS. So a few traders had that one. So this is back in September. Expired worthless, which is what you want when you sell the option. Earnings is right around the corner. Keep that in mind because this is a very pretty double bottom. Boop, 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 beep, boop. So broke above the neckline, retested, close, pennant pattern. It's getting ready for earnings. So I think whatever direction this gaps, if it gaps up strongly, it probably retests, but then continues to go higher. I'll probably do a $30 put sale. Don't mind owning shares. I've already got it on the list for Monday. At least I'm pretty sure I do. Let me just go check. Monday. Yes, I do. All right. Pet Med Express, done. Gilead Sciences, GILD. So we were looking at this one yesterday for a swing trade. And I said, yeah, it looks pretty good. Let me just give it a little bit longer. And I did. And would it have stopped me out? Maybe. It might have. It might have. So GILD, I think this has a while until earnings, right? Yeah, about a month. About a month. I'm going to bring this down here and bring this down here. And that way, let me make sure that's still a good risk reward. I think it is. Based on the weekly, you got a doji candle. Stop's not below that week's low, though. So if I do that, we'll definitely be able to lose less than R. It's like a 1 to 1.5 by that previous pivot. My question really becomes on GILD, could we, would we, will we break through this little pattern right there? So again, I do like it bullish. However, we're smacking our head against resistance. It's not really a confirmed trend at this point. Here's the weekly charts. And if I zoom out big enough, I mean, this is a really, really rock solid resistance. The conundrum. Ah, that's right. The long-term moving average. You know, the bull put spread premium is also not that gregariously wonderful. I would say for any of my advanced active traders, you're welcome to keep an eye on GILD, maybe a break above 81.38. If you have an aggressive enough stop, it might be good. I'm going to wait on this one for right now. I'm just going to give it a little bit of time, just kind of pass the buck, whatever that means. Yeah, I'm just going to give that one a bit. If earnings were farther away, I might try a bull put spread. That resistance there, as much as I like it, I really want it to close above there. The volume looks all right. I'd rather do a bull put spread. There's just not enough time. All right, cool. So again, coming into some of the banks, Citigroup, beautiful. Small little move. Mike, did you ever get a chance to do a bull put spread on this one? I know you've done a bull put spread on Citigroup in the past. Last time we were talking about it, we mentioned this really nice hammer candle and move right there, the stop right there. Yeah, looks nice. Here's the exponential moving averages, exponential. Good looking trends. Ashley's dad is in the stock long term. You got the 10 right there. Trend looks nice. I mean, as far as a brand new trade, I mean, really that trade was back from that. You can kind of see a little bit of a double bottom in here. It's not very pretty. Let me just turn off the moving averages. There's the moving averages. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Close above the neckline, close with the neckline. Got a nice high wave candle right there. Good high wave candle. Looks nice. I like it. Citigroup, doing smart stuff. Wells Fargo, up 2% today. Had a pretty good gap. So remember, we did talk about after this earnings, and 3 or 4 traders are in this. I'm not one of them. That hammer candle right there. And the reason I'm not in, mostly just because you can't be in everything, right? Good hammer. Risk reward was not too bad. Mentioned it was probably a better longer term trade, like weeks or months, maybe even a year or so, if you really want to be in that long. Dividends around the corner. Nice looking gap today. It really was. This was a very pretty locational gap. And what I mean by that is you see a few different wicks right here over the past few days, and you get a small gap up. So if we come over here to the 15-minute chart, small gap. I mean, really, here's the 5. I didn't see this trade this morning. Otherwise, I feel real confident I would have gotten in bullish there with a stop there. And it wouldn't have been a home run, but it would have been at least an R. One solid R unit. So Wells Fargo. Nice gap, good volume. Here's the EMAs. They're pretty sideways, but we are above them, which is good. Volume is increasing. Here's the long-term moving averages. They're just doing their thing. Here's the monthly chart. It's doing its thing, which is whatever. Bouncing off the 50. So I guess overall saying this to say Wells Fargo looks more bullish, at least to neutral. This does look like a little bit of a double bottom pattern of sorts. So if I turn on a line chart, that's almost exactly what it looks like. Well, I guess not. It kind of does. You can see a little bit of a double bottom if you trace it exactly, but it's not perfect. So I would say if you're not in Wells Fargo and you want to be, look for that little, that dip buying opportunity, probably some kind of retest Monday, Tuesday, like I was mentioning. I think the market does retest a little bit Monday, Tuesday. And then at the same time, if you're not in and you don't want to be, that's a very easy position to be in. That's the easiest of all the positions. Dollar index, DXY, had a little bit of a pop today. DXY, here's the long-term moving average. So this is the daily chart. We're going to battle this a little bit, but really what happened on the dollar index is we broke this very obvious channel. We broke a really obvious channel. Probably a lot of the bears hopped on. They set a bear trap, and the bear got its foot caught in the trap, and then we're kind of bouncing down here. So this was a few weeks ago. I mentioned that if you're an international student, come to America, which Jabba and his girl Julia did. They came over here and, man, they did everything you could possibly do on the West Coast, I feel like. They were over here about 2 weeks and saw every site imaginable. Drove, I think, 6,000 miles or something like that in 2 weeks. So they crushed it. But anyway, so the dollar kind of cheap compared to other currencies right now overall. And I think it's a good time to buy some dollars. So again, if you're an international trader, just something to throw out there, maybe some longer term currency trading. I already got some dollars if you want to buy any of mine. I can sell you some. But yeah, dollar index, buy low, sell high, which means usually if the dollar really goes up strong, the market could have some small pullbacks, which is just, that would be healthy if that does happen. That would also mean that silver and gold could go down a little bit lower. As far as the cryptocurrency world, I'm not entirely sure. They haven't been around that long to really figure out what kind of correlated they are to the dollar, but overall, probably good. Probably go higher. All right. So speaking of, here's GE, and we're going to get silver in the dollar. So GE, I think, finally made a nice little bottom. So it had a nice gap down on earnings. I don't know if Fred got out of his longer term calls or not. I think he did from some of the notes. Mark, I don't know if you're still in, but I think you are. It was a good gap, but it faded immediately. Within almost the first 5 minutes. We watched it this morning, and true story, in my mind, I said to myself, man, I should take this bullish entry right there. I really thought it, but today I was trading like a watermelon plays the tango. So GE, just a great gap down and immediately faded. Just a good move. It's doing what it is. Fred says I bought more calls deeper in the money. All right. So Fred got in some more calls. Longer term, huge candle. It probably pulls back a little bit. It's almost a Marubozu candle. About as close as you can be. It's kind of like when I was in middle school, almost getting kicked out, but not quite. It's like you're as close to getting kicked out of school as you can get without actually getting kicked out. That's what this candle looks like. So good volume, nice candle. Probably pulls back some. And longer term, all I can say on GE, I don't personally, I'm not buying this one myself. Do your research. Read up on some stuff. Everyone knows who GE is, what products they make, but just make sure you like them. If it's going to go higher, this is where. It should not take out the low of this candle. It could go lower, but it shouldn't close below the low of this candle on a weekly time frame, because this is now a weekly chart. So if we close below the low of this candle on a weekly chart, yeah, something's up. Something's going on. Okay, silver and gold, talking about those earlier. Plan to buy some silver at some point in the next few days. That's my plan. I was hoping to actually get a good trade, to make, what's that called? Yeah, money. Yes, money to buy some stuff with. So silver, a little bit of a bearish candle today, mostly because of the dollar pop. Long-term moving averages, we were stuck right in the middle of those things. The weekly time frame, we are stuck right in the middle. I mean, you can't really get much more sideways than we are on silver. Hashtag yawn, hashtag trade city, hashtag chop city, hashtag going nowhere. So silver, if it's going to pop bullish, it's going to take its time, right? Longer term, most traders are in this one. It's kind of like a buy and hold. It's pretty boring. Doesn't really pay a dividend. If you want to get in a silver company that does pay dividends, there are some out there. So just kind of track one down. But silver, SLV just simply tracks the spot price of silver. But it is stable-ish overall. So, for some quick ins and outs on some larger sums of money, if you're like, all right, I'm going to put this in here and make, 1%. I'm just going to hold until I make 1%. And when I do, I'll sell and then, kind of wash and repeat. That's probable. That can happen. Not a bad strategy. Gold, so GLD also pulling back just a touch. So you had a Morningstar reversal on the weekly chart and just never went higher. So here's your Morningstar. So if we do break above the high of this week, that would be pretty strong. But based on this candle, it's kind of screaming that she's going to slowly truck down a little bit lower. Something kind of like this. That's what I got on gold. Questions, concerns, thoughts? Cool. That's gold. All right, next on the list, Bank of the Ozarks, OZRK. Good old Bank of the Ozarks. It's at 47 right now, Brad. 47. Look at the bounce off that 200, man. The low of that candle was 40.15. I think you had a put sale. I don't think you got put the stock, but what a beautiful bounce off the 200. Look at that. This is the weekly chart on Bank of the Ozarks. It's 20% up in about a month. That was a beautiful move. Nice little small regional bank. Kind of your, I don't know if you would call this an inverted head and shoulders pattern or not down there. Probably not, but you got like this, something like that, like a triple bottom or something. I don't know. Anyway, here's the daily time frame, and the daily time frame, right, it made this nice little low, traded right into that support, and then just really crushed it. So right now, Bank of the Ozarks has had earnings. It's on the 100. It's bouncing a little bit. This is a stock that I've done some put sales on before because I really didn't mind owning shares, and still haven't gotten put in the stock yet. Looks like it could be a good one to consider again if you can get any money. Might have to go a little bit farther out, like time-wise, or just go a little bit closer. But OZRK looking pretty strong. That's what I got at the present moment in time. PayPal, ladies and gentlemen. Justin J., congrats. How'd you end on PayPal today, my friend? Look at this weekly chart. Wee-wee. Come on out. Get you some. Just a powerful, powerful move. Insane volume. Daily chart, you did have a gap. Charles is making money on this one. Justin had some calls and sold today. And you sold at a good time, too. I mean, I think you locked in a good amount of premium. This is one that I know the trend looks blissfully beautiful, but it has pulled back from time to time. So, good-looking move. I would say if we can trade sideways one more day, that would be a really nice setup. Here's the hourly chart, and we could also look to buy a dip. So I'm going to keep an eye on PayPal. You keep an eye on PayPal. Let's all keep eyes on PayPal. Justin said he got 7.5 R's today, 10.2 overall. Congrats, my friend. Yes. Or as the ladies say, yes. Yeah, I was on a swing trade for sure. But, hey, that's all right. That's all right. Snag it. I think for the month on swing trades, me too. I think I have like 6.5R on swing trade positive. I think I have like -6R on day trades. I am a little under. Yeah. So anyway, PayPal. Don't be afraid to trade this one bullish. This is a fun stock. It's a good stock to own. It will certainly go higher than it is today, long term. The lower this goes, the more willing I am to buy it. So good stuff on PayPal. Congrats, Justin. I'm proud of you, man. Does that mean, are you taking off Monday and Tuesday just because? Or do I need to kick you out? I mean, you got 10R. What else are you going to do for the rest of October? You're done, man. You made it. You got to cross the bridge. So PayPal looks good. That's what I'm getting at. Some more sideways movement. We will look at it next week. PayPal, PYPL. We'll look at it Monday and Tuesday. PayPal. PayPal. All right. I think that should be their jingle. PayPal. Let's go look at Square, another one that's just been rip-roaring. Robert's got himself a put sale for November 28. Victor's got some shares. Albert's got some shares. Everybody's got shares. Bouncing off the 10. A lot of folks bought it down there. I did try to short it yesterday for a day trade, but I got out really quick because it just didn't work. I've tried to short a thing or two. It's hard being a perma bear for your day trades in a market like this. I love going bullish. It just takes a long time, and I don't know. I have no excuse. So anyway, Square. Just going to trade sideways. Just going to hang out. Earnings is around the corner. I don't know what's going to happen on earnings. I'm guessing a gap up. Kind of like PayPal today. Probably a pretty good gap, but it just doesn't go anywhere, but eventually goes higher. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. Square, strong trend. Stay with it if you're in it. URI, United Rentals. So here's the weekly chart on United Rentals. What a double bottom that had. Look at that. I don't know if and when this is going to pull back. I'm definitely not saying it will, but if it does pull back, about 10% would be nice. 10% is 14 points. I could see this being a really good double bottom play. Trying to see if there's anything else out there. High wave candle, inside day candle right now. I mean, if it breaks out, that'd be fantastic, but I prefer to buy the dip. Yeah. I was about to see on URI, very strong trend, a little bit of a candle. I'm pretty sure pretty positive is the all-time high. All-time high on URI. So, yeah, I prefer to buy that dip. Best case, 129. Worst case, 120. All right, next on the list, we got UAL, which is the airline company. And this one got close. So Mike had a put sale at 61. I mentioned it would close below 61 today. However, it will be a high wave candle. So we do have a high wave candle on the day. United Continental, I don't think there's any like long-term moving averages holding it up other than these two. So the 100, 200s at 60.87 and the 200s at 57.10. I could see it pulling back down to there. I don't think it really crushes it much lower. Let's see. Support resistance. Yeah. It's coming to a good support if you're looking at playing United. The challenge is going to be with a gap like this, it's real strong. Real strong. High wave candle today. Watch for a morning star reversal here. This candle, you could bracket trade this candle. I mean, if it pops here, it's at a buying zone. It does pay dividends, so I mean, people are going to be looking to buy. If it breaks down, it could go lower. I think United's going to have a lot to do with the Southwest earnings coming up, right? So Southwest right around the corner. If they gap up, UAL probably goes higher. Gaps down, probably goes lower, vice versa. So that's what I got on UAL. But hey, Mike, I mean, you got it, just under 61. So $1.10 under the water. You probably got paid pretty okay to do that put sale. Probably not $1.10, but you got paid something. So your dollar cost average, you're a little bit in the red. But I really do like these weekly long terms. All right, awesome. Next on the list, we got did I ever look at JP Morgan? I don't think I did. So JP Morgan, I feel like I did. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll do it again. Probably earlier today. JP Morgan, new all-time high on JP Morgan. Retest gap, good volume, high wave candle. We're probably going to get some retest. Here's the 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart. You got a little bit of a double bottom. This was a pretty okay day trade to snag. I didn't get a chance to do this one, but I mean, again, folks, this is a really, really strong gap today. This is not a buying gap, in my opinion, kind of like across the board. Most of these gaps are, hey, if you're profitable on these stocks that are at all-time highs, you have to figure out, is it a short-term or a long-term play, right? And if it's short-term, you're probably looking to lock in either today and or Monday. And then if it pulls back by the dip, if it's long-term, cool, keep holding. Trend looks good. Just expect and kind of plan that a long-term, or I shouldn't say long-term, that a pullback is coming, a retest is coming, and just be patient through that. So we'll see. Justin says, aren't these tax cut jumps in the financials? I mean, really, potentially. I mean, the thing is they have a bunch of gaps kind of across the board on the S&P. You have some in financials. You got some in a lot of places. But JP Morgan, I mean, what I liked, what you said earlier today, you said the buy the rumor, sell the news. I think that is a very, very valid thing. I need to do a little bit more reading probably on the way to Chicago. I'll ride shotgun. Maybe have Ashley Dry, get some reading done. But, yeah, like I said, it's not a bad thing in regards to what's going to happen. I think that a lot of people are excited about it. We'll have a quick 1% to 2% drop for a week or so. And, yeah, that's that. This is high, folks. This is really high. Kind of like this over here. Similar. That was still a little bit stronger than we are right now. Let me go see if I can find another one to kind of just like a similar type of gap where we are today. Probably right here. This gap right here, very similar, the one in March. And we can see we did get some sell-offs, but we end up bouncing and going higher. I could see something like that occurring because there was a lot of bulls out there today. A lot of bulls. So all I'm saying is, Monday, if we have a little bit of a bearish candle, I think we're going to get a small pullback on some stuff out there. We kind of need it. All right, Micron Technology was requested, ticker symbol MU, and Micron, just slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Very good pullback opportunity yesterday as it pulled back into the 10. Here's the hourly chart. And the hourly charts, you'll notice we were just sitting here at the 50, a little bit of a channel. All right, so here's a channel on Micron. So I got my two thoughts on it are pretty simple. This is a pretty good bullish gap and go on the hourly. If it trades back down to 40, look to buy it. And then here's the daily chart. This is a retest gap at a resistance. Right, so here's the resistance right there. So there's the resistance. I would prefer to buy it on a pullback down into 40 and then expect for it to bounce. Let's say it doesn't pull back to 40. That is okay. Because if it does one of these numbers, we get like a doji or smaller candle, something Monday. Tuesday, this could be a weekly options trade to trade a breakout on Micron. So if we break out on Tuesday sometime after a rest on Monday, let the trend keep being your friend. Get a milkshake and share it. Look at that volume. That volume is serious. That volume ain't messing around. Almost an inside a week. Not perfect, but almost. So just simply saying that, obviously look at this trend. It does need a pullback, yes. It's comical at this point. But if I had to guess where MU is in like a bigger scheme, probably something like right here. Where we get a pullback, we go a little bit higher. We get a little bit more of a pullback, we go a little bit higher. And then we really have a nice correction and go a little bit higher. Obviously, just a guess. I always try to look for patterns. I feel something brewing out there. This is getting ridiculous. A pullback would be great. Pullback would be great. Long term, no, I'm not going to get the go to cash statement yet. Not yet. I think we still got some more time on the long term big picture stuff, but the Trump tax deal could be it. Again, this is not a political statement, but if he botches it or something, weird happens, or it's just a travesty and everything fails across the board, we could sell off a little bit. If it comes out, everything is fine. Everything's like, oh, this is great. It could still sell off a little bit. Bottom line is, I don't think there's, if it continues to go higher, the market, the broader market, like these stocks, that's great. I love when markets go up. A lot of people make a lot of money. All I'm saying is just as it goes higher and as your accounts grow, just start peeling off some at the top and just start getting set up for some of these pullbacks. Make sure you got some cash ready when a dip does happen. Don't get over leveraged or overextended in these really high markets. Okay. So that's MU. Here's Disney, DIS. Disney hanging out. Just the picturesque version of bouncing off long-term support. Trying to form a double bottom. This red line is the 200 simple moving average on a weekly chart. New Star Wars movie, not a super long time from here. It looks good. Looks good. You got a little bit of a bullish candle down here. Broke out higher the next day. Retested, made a little bit of a higher high and a higher low. Disney obviously will get affected if the market just started tanking, but I don't think that much because overall it's kind of sold off a little bit. So here's the weekly chart. So it's, a little bit of a move, but that trend line looks nice. Justin says, from what I've read about Disney, ESPN is holding them back, and Sharon said that's right. Fundamentally, ESPN agreed. They're trying to figure out a way to make that more of a profitable endeavor. I don't know exactly what that looks like. Probably some partnerships with some gaming companies. But ESPN, a very, very highly watched network, is just not profitable. People who watch it aren't really buying a lot of what people are, the advertisers are selling, I'm assuming. So it's interesting what Disney's going to do, but Disney's a powerhouse. They're going to keep being a powerhouse. This is a really strong, long-term buying level where we're at right now. So again, the long-term. Short-term, yes, it could also bounce down here for sure. We could make a little bit here and there, but long-term, your risk-reward is pretty solid. And there are a few of you here who own Disney shares long-term. If you want to own some more, it's a good place to add maybe 3 or 4 shares minimum, something like that. Never know. Sharon says people aren't watching NFL because of the national anthem controversy, and it's causing a stir for sure, as it should, right? It is definitely getting some people up in arms, and it's Just a rant. Like, who would have thought it would have been this big of a thing 2 years ago? That the NFL would be the spotlight for that. But yeah, good old NFL. It might cause the college. I've heard more storms about college players starting to get paid now, and people might be watching college more than NFL. Which, I mean, college teams get paid bukus of money. I mean, some college teams make more than some NFL teams, but oh, that's a whole other podcast, whole other discussion. The sporting arenas. What's a good time? What's a good platform? All that kind of good stuff. So, all right, that's Disney. Let's go look at Home Depot. Ticker symbol HD, and Home Depot looking kind of cute today. Nice lower shadow the other day, kind of off the 20. So it is pulling back. Earnings and dividends are past. Here's the weekly chart. And what we are working on right now on Home Depot is retesting the previous all-time high. So there it is. There's the previous all-time high. Nice pop. Could go a little bit lower, maybe 160 or so, but from there, I would say one would probably be looking to buy the dip on Home Depot. So here's the daily charts. Long-term moving averages look good. I don't see anything super concerning. The volume could be a little bit of a course for contention. So there's definitely some volume coming in there on Home Depot. A little bit of support, a little bit of resistance. But again, the trend overall looks nice. It's just, I feel like it's kind of more of a healthy pullback, if anything. All right, so that's Home Depot. Next on the list, British Petroleum. So I got called away, or we'll be getting called away on BP. And left a little bit on the table, but I'm totally fine with that. BP, just immaculate bullish run, like some of the strongest run I've seen in a long time. Thing is, it is at my 2017 target right now as we speak. So if you got more than 100 shares, you could easily consider a covered call. Me personally, I'm planning for this to be a double bottom, and I'm looking for BP to come down and retest it to 36. I'm not saying that will happen, but it probably will. I'm looking for a double bottom retest. I'll probably sell some put sales down here, look to get back in on BP again, and I'll look to buy or put some shares lower than I sold them for, and just kind of rinse and repeat that process. Now, again, that doesn't have to happen. BP had a nice breakout. You're above this resistance, and we're kind of retesting. So if BP keeps trading in a pennant pattern and does not go lower and then breaks higher, sure, hop on. Very strong company, very profitable, pays dividends, pretty volatile. One of my favorite energy companies, and one of the energy companies that we as real-life traders have made the most on the last 2 years. All right. Snagging some water. In DAQ, that's the NASDAQ. This is the weekly chart. Here's the daily charts. And let's see what we're looking at here. Interesting pattern on NDAQ. Very interesting volume. Earnings is around the corner. It looks a little bit bearish, actually. Here's kind of the weekly. Strong move. I mean, obviously it's tracking the NASDAQ a little bit. I think we're going to pull back a tad more on NDAQ. Daily charts. Interesting. Sharon says, what's the difference between this and the QQQ? Other than, volume and stuff like that, I'd have to look a little bit more, but I believe this particular instrument is more of the financials, technical financials like commodity markets, exchanges, more of a grouping of the financial technology sector rather than application, software, internet technology. I'd have to look a little bit more, but I believe that's the case. Yeah, a lot of volume coming in. It does look a little bit more bearish. So, yeah, let's see if this thing can pull back on the weekly chart. A little bit of a support resistance, maybe about 71.80. I think it could look viable. I think we will see. Next on the list, we have SWIR. SWIR, what is this? Sierra Wireless. Stuck in the middle of the long-term moving averages. Here's the daily chart. It looks like a squeeze is going to be forming on this one. It did have a squeeze, actually, and then just never did anything. Earnings are probably around the corner. If there's any option traders out there who like doing straddles or strangles, you could consider Sierra Wireless. Simply because it is trading very sideways, hasn't done a lot since last earnings. Last earnings was a major tank. The earnings before that had a good gap. The earnings before that had a good gap. So I'm not saying that if you've never done one before, you should do one now. However, if you're versed, comfortable, a gap up above 23 and some change and a gap down, these would be strong. This would be a good straddle or strangle play for anyone who wants or is interested in considering that. Otherwise, pretty sideways. MELI, so MELI, MELI, e-commerce auction service company, out of support. Looks like it's going to try to double bottom. Did not know this stock paid dividends. Looks like it's going to try to form a double bottom. Here's the weekly chart. And the weekly chart, again, out of supports. Here's the exponential moving average. Is at the 50 EMA on the weekly. Granted, of course, it could break below the support and go bearish. In order for me to see that, I would need to see a close on a weekly chart below 228.75. Otherwise, today's an inside day candle. Thomas, you're the one that requested this one. So if MELI gets a good pop, again, today, an inside day candle. So if we get a good gap tomorrow or Tuesday and we really gap out of here, could be a nice buying location on MELI. All right, and last but not least for today, Tesla. Tesla, a little bit of a bearish day today. Again, earnings right around the corner. Long-term moving average, we did close below the 100. It's looking a little weak right now. Looks like it's going to trap some folks. This was definitely a bullish candle, definitely broke out. Didn't close above the resistance. We had a lot of bullishness there. Bearish candle, bearish candle. We're down a little bit pre-market. The only thing that's going to save Tesla is going to be earnings. And it would need a really strong gap. If it gaps down, it could gap down into 314 or something, and that would probably be a little bit of a buyable opportunity. But the only thing that saves Tesla is a gap up. Kathy said short-term options were good to me today. Yes, they were. So congrats, Kathy, on playing those bullishly. Or, well, you did play the puts bullish, but puts are bearish. Yeah, it had a good gap. I mean, yesterday was a new black crow. So when it breaks, broke lower, you getting in some puts makes a lot of sense. There is some support coming in here somewhat soon, right around 343 and some change. But today's candle's not the most bullish candle in the world. Here's the weekly, and we did finish above the low of last week. So theoretically, not theoretically, literally we did make a higher high and a higher low. But this is not the strongest candle. Next week is going to be the week that we get to determine if Tesla goes higher or lower, because earnings will change this chart. It'll either be pretty strongly bearish or pretty strongly bullish, and I have no idea which one. Pure coin flip. Go enjoy the weekend, folks. What are we going to look at tomorrow? Tomorrow, of course, being Monday. What do you find, folks, want to look at? I'm going to put THC. Let me go look at Activision really quick for my boy Adrian. And Activision, woo! All right. So it closed above your 62.50 put sale. Adrian, I hope you walked away and that one expired worthless for you. So go ahead and feel free to jot that one in there. Let's see. CI, we can look at Activision again. THC, Tenet Healthcare. All right. So Monday, we'll look at Target. We'll look at Walmart. We'll look at Costco. We will also check out PETS, AOBC. We will also check out PayPal, THC, CI, which is Cigna, Activision Blizzard, and whatever else you guys are chatting about over here in the chat pane. Let me figure it out. BABA. So CI, PHG, BABA, Adobe was a strong one today, and CRI and CTRL. All right, sweet. That'll be the list for Monday then. My friends, you go enjoy yourselves. Have a good weekend. Thanks so much for helping us enrich lives this week. You are incredible people. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.